Trigger can absolutely do it. I have no doubt that Trigger can do it. He's been very big for us in the past in PVTs, in WTL Code S. Think of the wins over Oliveira, the wins over Beyond. So, he's been here, he's done that, but to say that I am 110% confident that we're just gonna ship this 2-0, no. Trigger is legit, uThermal scary though. They're very good friends of one another, and they're both very good. 422 ELO for this absolute handsome stud. uThermal from the Netherlands, your YouTuber. We've got Trigger with 481. Mark is chilling, leaning back in his chair, closing his eyes. I believe he's in the Netherlands though. That's funny. Canada versus the Netherlands. We saw that a couple days ago in football. That was a 4-0 for the Netherlands. I hope that that does not happen again. That'd be bad for us. Now Heaven, he's back to Terran, mate. At least in most games he's back to Terran. And he's 6,500 MMR, which is fucking insane. Apparently with ladder victories over Serral, Clem, and Max Packs. What? Isn't that crazy? That was for different reasons though, Ian Blue. Back then in Abu Dhabi or Qatar, whatever it was, right? Thank you to 1 meter long King Kong Dong. Great username, matey, for the 9 months. And Zion, 49 months, tier 3. Really appreciate it, mate. Ghost River is a scary map. I actually think a Ghost River is very good for Terran. I do think that uThermal hates playing against Protoss the most. And I think that Trigger, his PvT, is historically pretty damn strong, so it could be a 1-1, right? Could be a 1-1. These two are very good friends with each other. They've been memeing for a while. You guys can see that they're smiling, probably bantering a little bit on Battle.net or in the game lobby. uThermal is always rooting for Trigger to do well in the American either DreamHack or ESL Master events, however you call them. And Trigger obviously spends a lot of time watching uThermal on Twitch. Yeah, they might play some other games together too. Just know that they get along incredibly well. They've known each other for quite some time. But there are no friends in this important match. This Trigger is yawning. 3 PM for us means it's 9 AM for the men in Canada. Is there anywhere that I can see the overall stats of all-time WTL season? It's like an all-time record, wins and loss like that. You mean of teams of players? But I think the answer to that question, regardless, is no. You're gonna have to calculate that yourself. Top right side of Ghost River, it is the Flying Dutchman, our YouTuber, uThermal, saying Protoss fan. Top left side of Ghost River, we are looking at the main base of our Canadian Protoss representing Basilisk. It is Trigger. Apparently they hosted the game and had to rehost for whatever reason. Maybe wrong races. Thank you, Lapido. Not sure what it means, but I appreciate you, matey. Yeah. You can definitely find all the stats, but I think the man was looking for one page that will give you an all-time overview of like maybe all the teams' wins and losses and player performances, not just of a specific season, but of every single season. I don't think that page exists. You can obviously make it yourself. In SC2 history, has there ever been a situation where the spawn you get on a 2-player map has a higher win rate? Yes, Heaven. Because I was actually a believer many years ago that spawning in the bottom side was way better than spawning in the top side. People made fun of me and said I was crazy. Then they decided to actually crunch the numbers of like 3-4 events in a row. And it turns out there was a couple percentage point difference. And then a lot of pros were like, I never thought about it, but actually I do prefer spawning at the bottom. I was like, I know. It got calculated once, Ian Blue, after a Katowice a couple years ago. I don't know when, and I don't have a link to the thread, but it did get calculated, and it proved my point. The other casters even responded in the thread, making fun of me. They're like, Roddy was right all along. Isn't there a difference in soccer if you attack left versus right? No, I don't think that exists. What does happen sometimes is that you have home games and away games. So if you play towards your die-hard fans, that teams tend to play better because they get more support when they look at it and they get closer to it and they hear them louder. But obviously there is no actual advantage. So the reason why I think bottom side is better is that obviously if you spawn at the bottom side of the map, most of the time your army is going to be at the bottom side of your screen. Well, if you spawn on the top side of the map, most of the time your army is going to be on the top side of the screen. And it is easier to micro units towards the bottom than it is to micro units towards the top. And that is why I've always preferred spawning at the bottom. I do my best work from the bottom, and apparently many other players do too. Has there ever been a case where audience reaction gave something away? Yeah, absolutely. I think the most famous case ever is Huck and Select in the early days of MLG, where the man built a mothership. The crowd went nuts just because a mothership spawned. And Huck said, don't worry, that's Halo. Not sure what's happening. Obviously, solid start here for our men. Like, we had a shield battery, had a couple stalkers, one of the Hellions died in mid-air. Just a single map win would already make me very happy. A 2-0 would be fantastic, but a single map win would already be happy. The Naniwa thing was spicy, but I don't know. That, to me, that was kind of silly. But I'm sure there were many other moments, like even at Home Story Cups, right? Like, Home Story Cup is a professional event, but if the place is packed and everybody starts making noise, players will know that something is coming. And if you sit on a stage in front of a lot of people and you can feel like everybody clapping or like slamming the edge of their seat, you're gonna notice something. You may not know what, like Burrowed Banelings with, I think, Moon a long time ago. If an army gets close to Burrowed Banelings, the audience will be like, oh, and as a player you could hear that, so then people sometimes stopped in their movement. They're like, wait, what? What's happening? By the way, they copied us. The way that we have Basilisk and then a very tiny little big symbol in the top right. Look at Offside Gaming, and now I have a very tiny mouse symbol in the top right. They better pay us some royalties. Absolute shameless copy. Boss just told me to do the same thing. You guys are shameless. No, Hero Marine is obviously not leaving Mouse Sports. It's the same as Basilisk, guys. It's just for one season they're teaming up, and at the end of the season, the teams and the players will go separate ways again. Game will continue. We're off to a good start, guys, on the side of Trigger. uThermal made a bunch of Hellions and Reapers, has not done any damage yet, but we have to keep our eyes on those Cloak Banshees and the tanks. Who won the first map? This is the first map. One low HP Hellion makes it into the main. Could get a couple shots off. Obviously he's getting a good scout. A Trigger is making a War Prism. I don't hate the War Prism, but what I would really love to see is an Observer soon as well. I had a different plan, Gemini. I had a plan with like a Basilisk logo, but then like a flag that was 50% USA and 50% Germany. But then they said no flags allowed, and I was like, alright. What about the callers? And then I thought about changing the callers of the Basilisk logo, but they didn't really... that didn't come out that well, so then we just went for this solution in the end. Very unfortunate moment for my stream to be lagging. And I'll just jump over to Twitch quickly. I apologize about this, guys. I'm watching a clean feed, so I am just relying on them providing me with a good link. Twitch is dead. YouTube is lagging. Classic WTL experience over here. I'm sure all the other commentators are already complaining. I have lag. Twitch is dead. Never mind. Game is back. Game is not back. I thought the game was back. God damn it. Why is this happening in Game 5 of the Clan War? I'm sorry, guys. There's really nothing that I can do about this stuff. I am not allowed to join the games. The only thing I can do is watch streams. Yeah, the other casters are complaining now as well, saying that the clean feed is dead on both Twitch and YouTube. Damn it, what a moment for it to go offline. Never mind, we're back. I think we're back. Are we back? Such an important moment as well, because Banshees are about to show up. Stalkers are about to attack. Okay, I think we're kind of back. Yeah, Banshees are indeed about to show up. And apparently we've already lost 9 kills, but we do have a War Prism and a bunch of Stalkers on the other side of the map. I don't know if we've killed anything yet. It is a Banshee in the main, a Banshee in the natural, dealing a lot of damage. This is... oh no, this is not looking good for us, guys. This is not looking good for us. Trigger is down 8 workers. I saw a whole bunch of siege tanks in the main base of uThermal. We are in trouble here. Game 1 on Ghost River. Double barracks, double eBay, and a Raven as a follow-up. At least we're going up to 3 bases. We've got charge on the way. Stalkers are looking for a tiny opening somewhere, but we kill an SCV, we lose a Stalker. That's not a good trade, especially not if we're already behind. Thermal was gonna get a couple of missile turrets in case there is a DT follow-up. Seven minutes into Ghost River, game 5 of this Clan War. It seems that Offside is looking pretty good to at least take the lead. And if uThermal wins this map, we can no longer get 3 points here. We can obviously still win the Clan War if Trigger just wins the second game and we win the ace match. But taking a 3-2 lead is always big, because then you secure yourself and your team at least 1 point. And this game is not 100% over yet, it just looks bad. But hey, the longer it goes, the more room there is for comebacks. And it does seem that this game is not going to end anytime soon. Would you guys love to see a Robo Bay right now? Because I kind of feel like Stalkers and Zealots alone are probably not going to cut it. Believe in Protoss, I always do. Well, there is our Robo Bay. So Trigger seems to agree with me that, yeah, this game is slowed down too much. That Stalker... okay, we find the Raven, baby. Raven gets bull, doesn't get anything. We like that. As now a War Prism is going to sneak into the back of the natural. And Immortal is going to lead the charge to get on top of one of these tanks. And then Blink Stalkers can maybe do their thing. This is actually a very strong little second for Trigger. Unfortunately, that War Prism somehow died. And I'm trying to figure out how it died. 3 Marines were hiding behind the refinery. Very sad. Because if that Warp in the main would have gone off too, we would have been flying. But hey, we're still battling. We're finding more damage. We're still creating some chaos. Don't forget, the Robo Bay is online. Let's build a Colossus. Fire up extended thermal lens. There we go. +1 close to finishing up. Trigger going up to 4 bases. I think we finally took care of one of those Banshees. That was annoying. If uThermal, by the way, is playing in Homestead Cup and he's playing as Terran, he's got a realistic shot at going pretty damn far. I don't even know exactly what the lineup of players is going to be at Homestead Cup, but I can think of at least a couple that uThermal is going to be a pretty hefty favorite over. Wait, where's my DHL delivery? Triple drop by uThermal as there is an army in the center of the map as well battling. Trigger doing a really good job. What a strong couple minutes now by Trigger. An absolutely awful spot that he was in, if you ask me. He's turning this into something that is really turning me into a Justin Belieber. Last Home Story Cup looked like such a good time. They've all been, mate. I really don't think there's ever been a bad Home Story Cup. I'm sure that I enjoyed some more than others, but there really has never been a bad one. And I think in the year 2024 they feel a little different, but in my eyes it feels even more awesome that we have just created this little happening twice a year where all StarCraft 2 fans come together, or at least people that can make it, have a good time, socialize, and of course enjoy the games. But it's so much more than just a StarCraft tournament. Third Colossus on the way as a couple of High Templars get warped into. uThermal is still trying to find something with his medevacs to the bottom side of the map. Next Home Story Cup is literally in 7 days from now. So, Home Story Cup over in Krefeld. Krefeld is near Cologne. Basically close to the Netherlands. Upper west side of Germany. Yeah, they've done a very bad job in spreading info, to be fair. But you can always ask me, mate. I'm here. Anything you need to know about Home Story Cups, you just reach out to me or anybody in my Discord and we got you. Marines are going to try to get a Nexus. We have a bunch of Zealots though trying to save this Nexus, and Shield Battery Overcharge is good enough to keep it alive as Trigger warps in 7 more Stalkers. Can we snipe some medevacs? You can absolutely snipe a Colossus apparently. The tanks are going to be annoying, but I feel like there is enough Protoss here to eventually take care of this tiny Terran army. The Widowmine shots there did some friendly fire to these medevacs. Look at these two Archons, guys. They are invincible. Now uThermal is trying to go full fantasy on us by dropping on top of a Colossus, but that did not work out. Oh. uThermal, let's go. And Trigger knows it. That was a good one. He's like, yeah, that's right. We take the 3-2 lead after all. Well done, mate. Well done. Impressive. Because that game actually looked pretty damn dire. Excellent comeback by a Trigger. uThermal now realizing why he started playing random. He's like, damn it, I hate Shield Battery Overcharge so freaking much. Perhaps there was a bit of an F2 there, but it was also just chaos, right? There were like 3-4 fights happening at once. And then sometimes, even if you're a very experienced player like uThermal, you're just going to lose track of where all your units are. Awesome. That means that we guarantee ourselves at least 1 point in this clan war. And we still have a shot at taking home 3. I don't know if Big Gabe Pizza is on the menu. I mean, Gabe streams almost every day, guys. Just stop by his stream later today. I'll post a link in the chat. And whenever you guys see Gabe live, just ask him if he's got any pizza plans for Home Story Cup. Yeah, somebody else mentioned it as well. Ice Cream AC. I've actually never thought about that. But I will not fight you over it. I can see why that is a thing. If certain fields are positioned in certain ways, that staring into the sun would indeed be very annoying. Never thought about it, mate, but makes sense to me. We are not ashamed of copying the logo. You know where to find my Twitch channel. That was my idea, by the way. I heard that the Dolphins also has something about like that the benches where like the backups or the reserves or the players that are not playing on that specific moment, that they are always sitting in the boiling hot sun, and meanwhile the players of the Dolphins have shade. It's awesome, TTA Larkin. We've had that before. I remember watching the World Cup of 2 years ago in the basement of Home Story Cup with Lino, Executor, Lambo. All the Koreans were watching too. And I feel like we also had the World Cup of 2016 during the Home Story Cup. I remember France scoring a whole bunch of goals against Argentina back then in the quarterfinals or round of 16. So it has happened a couple of times. There's a lot of pro players that actually really like following football. Whenever the Spurs are playing, a lot of the Koreans will keep an eye on it because they're all rooting for Son. But also just national competitions. A decent amount of them really like it. Obviously not everyone. Like football's not for everyone. Well, a lot of people do. I am definitely going to do a couple of viewing parties on my second channel. I cannot do it tonight, of course, because we have the big rain bouts. But maybe even tomorrow, if I'm just chilling and I'm not doing a whole lot, I'll have a viewing party for 1 or 2 of the matches. Where I cannot show you guys the game, but I can show you guys what I'm watching, how I'm watching it, what time. And we can root for goals together. I can even do it for the Netherlands. If I'm ever home, I can do it on the main channel. Every other game, I would do it on a secondary channel. Unless we get very deep. Exclamation mark second, guys. There's a lot of downtime in this clan bar. I don't really know what that's all about. I mean, Firefly showed up late. We were kind and generous. Rex was very nice to me. Saying like, oh, I really appreciate it. I know you guys had the right to take a free win. Thank you so much. It's okay. It wasn't supposed to be the case that he would then show up and get a 2-0 victory, but it is what it is. Alright, Oceanborn, guys. It is match point for us. Are we going to get an ace match? Or will it be a 4-2 victory? After winning that previous game from a very difficult position, I kind of like our chances, man. Good chance though that game 1 was played on the American server where Trigger had ping advantage, and that game 2 will be played on the European server, and now uThermal will have ping advantage. That I think is worth mentioning. I know, right, Puras? Like, okay, if the man doesn't want to get too old, I get it, but should have been a 1-1. Come on, Firefly. We give you 35 minutes more than you're supposed to have to show up. Then you do show up and you just 2-0. I've learned my lesson. We are never ever nice again. No, there will not be an interview today. No interviews. I am literally sitting here under the influence of painkillers and a broken rib. And I have to do 5 more hours of Starcraft tonight. So no, I'm not going to do bonus content. I'll watch these games, then I'll send you guys over to Wardy. And I'm going to relax for like 90 minutes because I need to. And then I'll be back. Or 2 hours. I don't know what happened. I assume that it happened during go-karting. But I really had no accidents. I didn't bump into someone, so it's a bit of a mystery to me. Apparently I'm just old and I fall apart. One day I'm fine, the next day I break my rib. And then I tried to walk it off and play it off like it was nothing, but it started hurting more and more. So went to the doctor and that is the diagnosis I got. The 11th rib, apparently. The 11th rib on this side. Mate, sneezing is fucking painful right now. Pardon my French, but sneezing and hiccups are 2 of the most painful activities that I can currently do. Because I get a shiver down my right side and it always stings and hurts. Thank the Lord I haven't sneezed a lot today. Top left side of Oceanborn, we are looking at the main base of our Canadian Protoss. Taking the 1-0 lead for us, securing at least a point. Hopefully he can bring it home. It is Trigger. Bottom right side. The Dutchman looked a tiny bit annoyed because I'm sure he thought he was in a very good spot. Hailing from the Netherlands, it is the uThermal. Laughing is painful too, but there's not a whole lot to laugh about when I'm in pain. No, laughing is not too bad, mate. Sneezing is bad. And hiccups, kind of bad. But the laughing is alright. Yeah. few more painkillers and Roddy will be interviewing himself. Yeah. Call it a podcast, mate. A podcast without any guest. Basically the big Gabe stream. Gabe just talks. There is a chat, but chat doesn't really participate in the big Gabe stream. Yeah, it's okay, guys. I'll be fine. The only thing I'm very sad about is that we had plans to go-karting in Germany, and it seems that that is going to be a no-go for me. Padel, I think I can play because I can make a lot of movements without hurting myself, so that will be fine. But it will be very sad to see everybody have fun with go-karts and no I can't race. That's the worst thing in the world. We'll survive. Bunker going up behind the natural. Trigger has seen it. Can't really do much about it. I don't know if we can build a battery on the low ground. Okay, that might be far enough away from the bunker, yeah. That is a good spot. But there's also a world where we need to get a second shield battery. Against single Reaper, I don't think that's necessary. I think I kind of like this start for us, guys. We're not overreacting. We're not messing up. We haven't made a single mistake. There's definitely some moments where if it's like Marines walking into the bunker or a second Reaper showing up, that you need to get a second battery. We've seen Protoss players build that first shield battery in the range and then they mess up a little. But I think this is 10 out of 10 defense. And this Reaper is stuck now, so we're going to get the Reaper too. I like it. I like it a lot. Match point for Basilisk. We've won 3 matches in a row. Can we make it 4? Come on. Okay, the others. One hit. One hit is good enough, right? We got the Reaper. uThermal. He's not expanding, is he? And well, we're gonna get at least an early robo. What Trigger needs to do, guys, is scout this ASAP. uThermal is fully sending it for offside gaming. 3 racks, a factory, no expand. Steam and combat shield on the way. This is one of these things where the quicker you scout it as a Protoss, the better it is, because then you can get more sentries, more immortals, more units. You don't go up. No, don't go 3 bases, mate. Oh. And of course, you get the Stalkers out on the map. The Stalkers need to get out on the map ASAP, because they can start picking off Marines one by one, maybe force out an early stim. And there is no starport with this build of uThermal, so every single stim hurts. What I do know is that uThermal is going to be on life tilt if he does not win this game. Because if the 1 base all-in does not work against the guy who's going blind 3 bases, oh, there is nothing that pisses Terran players off more. I have taken the accidental 3rd base once or twice against what was a 1 base all-in and I didn't know. And no Terran player ever took it very nice. Or kind. Not a single Terran ever out there was like, wow, that's impressive, man. You went up to 3 bases against a 1 base all-in and you held. Well done. No. Those words have never been spoken. As Trigger now finds these Marines, at least we find it somewhat in the center of the map. We can get a couple of shots up. We're firing up a Zalo charge. I don't know about the Observer. I would kind of like some Immortals. Or just more Gateway units. Stim and combat shield. uThermal's army is going to hit like a truck. Battery overcharge can buy some time. Maybe get 1 tank. Okay, Marines World's going to stim forward. They're going to go for that battery. We don't want to lose too many of our Stalkers. Blink obviously is on cooldown for a split second. We have warped in a slow Zealot. That's not going to do a whole lot for us. uThermal's on 18 SCVs, guys. 1 base. Like, we don't need to defend the 3rd. We just need to stabilize on... Maybe even 1 base would be okay. This could turn into 1 base against 1 base. Aren't we just that? I don't know. Don't forget, no medevacs with this push. Every single stim hurts. I don't know if we're that. If we can sneak in a couple Zealots with charge coming in from the back, do we have to be Omega dead here? Every second that goes by is a good one for Trigger and a bad one for uThermal. As uThermal obviously just needs to end this game ASAP. Tanks are getting very, very close now though. 1 Immortal's leading the charge. Do we have Coco's second overcharge yet? No, we don't. Tiny stim by uThermal. Not many Marines remaining though. I like that overcharge. I kind of believe. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Am I crazy in believing? We have a whole bunch of stalkers. Battery overcharge is doing his thing. First tank is dead. Second tank is dead. The zealots with charge. Oh baby, we ain't dead at all. We are pulling off a little bit of Protoss magic here. 3 bases against 1. uThermal scratching his head. He knows there is no way to save this game anymore. Just like that, we get the dub, baby. 4-2 over Offside. Well done, Trigger. Name a more iconic duo than Trigger coming in clutch in PvTs for us in the WTL Code S. Reynor with a 2-0 victory over Rex. Showtime, unfortunately, once more struggling a little bit in the WTL Code S. And our ace player in PvT when it's for all the marbles. Trigger gets a 2-0 victory over uThermal. And that will do it. Awesome. We had 3 wins in a row. 3 wins in a row becomes 4, baby. You guys ready? Lower your volume.
Quad kill.
Too late, guys. From 0-2 to 4-2. Well done, Trigger. Well done, Reynor. Unlucky Showtime, but it's all good. It is a team effort. I am happy. 3 more points. That's gonna boost us a little bit in the rankings. And yeah, I am happy. Well done, matey. Well done.